is Citizen Weekend with Olive Ballows.
The African Nations Championship 2024 kicked off today in Tanzania. Already the results are in, and it is considered a badge of honor for the East African community. But on the other hand, when it comes to trade, well, Tanzania stirred the hornet's nest in what Kenya says is a breach of the Common Markets Protocol that provides for freedom of movement as well as right of establishment. I get into that with my panelists tonight. We have the CEO of the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, and his name, Tobias Alando. We'll also be joined by a former two-term Yala member, and he also happens to be a legal expert, a lawyer. His name is Fred Mukasa. But before we get into that conversation, we have everything and all you need to know on Chan. Stay tuned. Officially underway. Delayed African Nations Championship Chan 2024 kicks off at the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium in Tanzania. Road closures, increased patrols, and heightened surveillance. Government bolsters security for Chan tournament.
For every game you win, every player here gets $1 million.
$1 million for each player for each win. 600 million shillings for Harambee Stars if they win Chan 2024. President Ruto's pledge on continental tourney.
Kama ingewezekana iandikwe wanaume so that wakati ya kazi like hii juzi ya 25th ya Gen Z kama kwangu Nyahururu niliambia wasichana wote wakae station.
Uproar over police officers' proposal to scale down women recruitment in the force. I am joined by Belinda Phillips, our sign language interpreter. The African Nations Championship, Chan 2024, has kicked off in style tonight in Tanzania. Thousands of football fans flocked the 60,000-seater Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam, where the opening match of the 2024 tournament is currently underway as Tanzania's Taifa Stars face Burkina Faso. Willie Lusige kicks us off.
The wait is finally over. All eyes on the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium tonight as Tanzania's Taifa Stars go head-to-head with Burkina Faso in the opening match of the 2024 African Nations Championship Chan, which is currently underway. It is a historic night for Tanzania, co-hosting the continental tournament for the first time alongside Kenya and Uganda. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa graced the grand opening ceremony as thousands of fans poured into the stadium, creating a charged atmosphere of football and celebration. The 60,000-seater venue is packed nearly to capacity, making it the largest stadium in the tournament, attracting fans from across Africa, many of whom are still streaming in as the game unfolds. Bongo Flava star Rayvanny electrified the crowd, headlining a lineup of performances that lit up the night and set the stage for one of Africa's biggest football festivals. Chan 2024 is making history as the first continental edition, co-hosted by 3 countries. Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda jointly welcoming teams from across the continent, with the tournament running from August 2nd to 30th. Since its inception in 2009, the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, and Morocco have each lifted the trophy twice. DRC won in 2009 and 2016, while Morocco claimed victories in 2018 and 2020. Tunisia, Libya, and reigning champions Senegal each hold one title.
The last time they played an official.
Willie Lusige, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Football fans in Kenya are waiting with bated breath to experience the country's inaugural hosting of the African Nations Championship that kicks off on Sunday at the Kasarani Stadium. As you'll hear now from Seth Olale, preparations at both Kasarani and Nyayo Stadium are complete ahead of the Harambee Stars versus the Democratic Republic of Congo match that will kick off Sunday afternoon.
Until Saturday evening, organizers of the CAF CHAN 2024 football tournament were in a last-minute rush, putting the final touches on the 48,000-seater Kasarani Stadium that is set to host Kenya's kickoff against DRC Sunday afternoon. CAF's technical team that includes IT, electronic and branding experts, ensuring preparations are complete ahead of the Sunday 3 p.m. kickoff. The advanced logistics teams ensuring all equipment is functional as tournament officials inspected the facility. The official CAF CHAN 2024 broadcaster undertaking a recce exercise ahead of Sunday's match commencement. The tournament's match officials were taken through the final briefs as they went round the football pitch. As preparations were underway at the match venue, football fans thronged various merchandise outlets in the capital's central business district. Merchandise vendors operating this outlet were forced to lock out buyers due to congestion inside the shop.
Kesho tunatokelezea kusapoti timu yetu, kuwaunga mkono, wajue tumesimama nao.
A few meters from this merchandise outlet, more football fans were busy scrambling to get Harambee Stars jerseys.
Kesho tuko hapo Kasarani in full force, lazima tu support team Kenya, lazima tusimame na Kenya vizuri kabisa, na tunahakikishia kwamba kwa hii venye tumechukua jazi hapa tunaenda kuwin game ya kesho, na team Kenya iko sawa, fans pia tuko sawa, tunatokezea kwa wingi sana kesho.
Outside the Kasarani Stadium, kiosks and boda operators were moved at least 1 kilometer from the match venue as a number of temporary structures were demolished. The Kasarani and Nyayo Stadia are Kenya's official host venues, with neighbors Tanzania and Uganda co-hosting the continental extravaganza.
Now we need the 12th man, you. Kuja na Mbogi, ama ni aje? Harambee Stars all the way.
After spending years of preparations involving millions of shillings, Kenya is finally ready to host its first ever continental football extravaganza when Harambee Stars takes on the DRC at this particular venue. But this is just a curtain raiser to the 2027 AFCON tournament that also will be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda, as well as Tanzania. Seth Olale, Citizen TV at the Kasarani Stadium, Nairobi County.
The Africa Nations Championship Tournament, CHAN, that has captured football fans in the country will, however, lead to inconvenience for motorists plying the Langata Road, Mombasa Road and Thika Superhighway, following a notice by police to close some of the key roads leading to the Nyayo National Stadium and Kasarani Stadium during the matches. Police say the planned closure of roads ahead of Sunday's games is part of an elaborate security plan to secure the tournament, expected to be watched by thousands of football fans. With that report is Gatete Njoroge.
Hours before Kenya hosts its first African Nations Championship games at Nyayo National Stadium and Kasarani Stadium, motorists are already grappling with the expected traffic nightmare 2 days after police released a traffic disruption notice. First to be affected are those who use Langata Road to access Nairobi CBD. Motorists using this route will be expected to use Raila Odinga Way, formerly Mbagathi Road, and connect with Valley Road before accessing the city center using Kenyatta Avenue.
Police will block the road at Timol roundabout to minimize movement of those accessing Nyayo National Stadium, where Morocco will play against Angola on Sunday at 6 p.m. Another road to be affected is Mombasa Road at the Southern Bypass interchange near Ole Sereni, where police will have another barrier. Those traveling from Mombasa, Machakos, Kitengela and Namanga will have two options to access Nairobi CBD. One can choose to use Likoni Road, Jogoo Road, and access the city center from City Stadium. The alternative is using Southern Bypass before joining Langata Road and Raila Odinga Way, or alternatively, Ngong Road.
This one is just to ensure that we have got people who are very safe. Remember also, once we allow these vehicles to go close to the stadiums, it is a threat. And those ones are the standards which we must meet for this game to be undertaken. Yeah, we shall just bear with it. Once we are done, we shall normalize our standards.
It will be a headache for those leaving CBD traveling to Thika. Motorists have two options. They will have to use either Limuru Road or Kiambu Road to connect via Northern Bypass, which joins Eastern Bypass, before accessing Thika Road in Ruiru. Police will put a barrier at all stops along Thika Road. For those traveling from Nairobi CBD to Kasarani, they will have to take a turn from Allsops, use Babadogo, Ngomongo Road to be able to access their homes.
Sisi tutegemea hizo mizigo zinatokanga huko mbali ka Nyeri huko Embu. Saa hiyo barabara ikiza fungwa hivyo tunaona tutapata pesa hiyo siku. Itakuwa ni mbaya kwetu.
It is the same route that will be used by football fans who have purchased tickets to watch the opening game between Harambee Stars and DR Congo at Kasarani Stadium. There will be ticket verification at Ngomongo Police Station before they are allowed to access the stadium. Those traveling from Thika to Nairobi CBD will divert at Ruiru roundabout, where there will be a barrier. Motorists will use Eastern Bypass to access the city center.
Pangane huko mweke matraffic, gari ziende tao kama kawaida na watu wapate mboka yao. Ama aje? Juu hatuwezi sema ati mpira ati tutasimamisha job juu ya balls. So hawa na benefit, kuna watu wana benefit juu kiingia kwa hiyo balls ni do.
Akisema kufungwa gari ikipita huko ni mafuta inakunywa. Wananchi watataka kuongezewa pesa. Hii itapanda fare kama gedho itakuwa chwani tao itakuwa 120 ama so. Wakenya watatoa wapi hiyo pesa?
However, for the security teams, the further away from the venues the accessibility is, the easier it is to manage the over 40,000 fans who will access each stadium during the games. To access Kasarani Stadium, fans will enter from TRM, Mwiki, Ngomongo, and Safari Park Footbridge. All these places will have security checks and ticket verification desks. With the planned traffic disruptions which will affect Mombasa Road, Langata Road and Thika Road, motorists have been urged to plan accordingly to avoid inconveniences. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Ruiru, Kiambu County.
Tonight, the state has assured football fans of their security ahead of the African Nations Championship CHAN, which is expected to kick off tomorrow at the Kasarani and Nyayo International Stadiums in Kenya. Officials say they have put in place elaborate security measures that include CCTV surveillance and multi-agency security deployment of various security units in and around all facilities that play host to the event. With that report is Franklin Wala.
At Kasarani and Nyayo International Stadiums in Nairobi, preparations for the African Nations Championship CHAN are all but done. Saturday morning, several security meetings took place in Nairobi, as well as the deployment of various security formations at Kasarani and Nyayo stadiums in readiness for Sunday's games.
Let's take an example of Kasarani. Checkpoints are all going to be at Boroisambu roundabout. You are not going to beat that area without a ticket.
It's not just about football. Kenya is a major tourist attraction country.
Kwanza tumeweka CCTV cameras ya kisasa ya kuhakikisha tunaangalia sehemu zote.
A spot check-in and around the facilities revealed installations of surveillance cameras which will be monitored by officers at the Integrated Communication Command and Control Center in Jogoo House.
Ya tumeweka polisi wa utalii wengi pia wa kusaidia wananchi ambao wanatoka nchi zingine, wageni kutoka nchi zingine, kuwaeleza sehemu wataenda.
There will be adequate coverage for those who would want to walk into the stadium. As long as you have the ticket, we'll give you the assurance that we will make sure that you are able to safely come in and go out.
On Sunday, Harambee Stars face the Democratic Republic of Congo at Kasarani Stadium, while Morocco will be fighting Angola at the Nyayo Stadium. Officials giving an assurance of an elaborate multi-agent security deployment of more than 2,000 officers to boost security during the month-long event.
We have a contingent of more than 2,000 police officers, and these are from all the formations, the anti-terror police unit, the DCI, NIS.
Even the searches are going to be very thorough. We don't want to see anybody going into the stadium while armed. We have got another set of officers whom we have deployed just far from the stadiums to keep vigil.
The enhanced security is expected to be in place to completion of the tournament, according to security officials. Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
With less than 24 hours to kick off in the match between Kenya's Harambee Stars and the Leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Interior Principal Secretary Raymond Omolo says Kenyans should be proud of hosting the first major sporting event since the All-Africa Games of 1987. Dr. Omolo says the country is already ahead of the big clash at the Kasarani Stadium, with fan safety guaranteed even outside the stadium. Mike Okinyi with that interview.
For those who would like to walk because they would think we are closer home and we can do the 5-10 minutes walk, is there some arrangement to assure them that you can actually, within the vicinity or within certain radius, security has been put in place to ensure that there is safety even at night, you can walk back home?
Yes, we want to confirm to everybody, particularly those who stay from within the vicinity, particularly of Kasarani, that we have made necessary arrangements in terms of deployment, and the numbers of our police officers is quite huge. We are also working with the private security players to supplement what the National Police Service will be doing, as well as the officers from the National Youth Service. So just to give that commitment that there will be adequate coverage for those who would want to walk into the stadium. As long as you have the ticket, we'll give you the assurance that we will make sure that you are able to safely come in and go out. Even for those who are not coming into the stadium, we will have enough security coverage across the city and also for the rest of the country, because the people will be flying to other parts of the country, whether they are tourists to visit other places. The assurance from the ministry and from the National Police Service and the local organizing committee, the security committee responsible, is that we have made adequate arrangements and cover.
CAF are very strict on the prohibited items into the stadium. What do we have in terms of sensitization of fans that, please, these items, please don't come with them to the stadium. You are not allowed to come with this, because as much as we are telling them this is prohibited, they're asking, why do we have our local matches, we come in with these things, now you're telling us not to come with them?
It's an interesting debate, because in our local matches we carry a lot of things, whether they're vuvuzelas, whether they're whistles, we beat drums, particularly the fans of Gor Mahia and AFC. In this particular context, those falls on the list of prohibited items that we don't want you to come with into the stadium. I know that takes away a bit of the excitement and the energy, but given the strict regime that CAF and of course FIFA expects, would want you to come and actually enjoy the game. And I'm sure there are other ways in which we can still be able to express the energy and have an electrifying crowd within the stadiums.
I know you've visited the team, you've been there with His Excellency, I've seen the enthusiasm around everybody else around the team. What are your expectations as a Harambee Stars fan, as a former footballer, as somebody who's looking up to the team to play here? What expectations do you have for this team?
I expect that Harambee Stars is going to go all the way and lift the championship. This is because there's been a lot of talent in this country. There's been a lot of good preparation led by the Harambee Stars coach, Benny McCarthy, who is an accomplished footballer and professional. And given that we will be playing at home and the finals is going to be played here, right here. So I, myself as a Kenyan, as an Harambee Stars fan, as a football lover, and also I'm the patron of Kenya Police Football Club, who are the champions of FKF in the season that has just ended. We are supporting Harambee Stars. We are calling on every Kenyan to rally behind the national team, and we want to take it all the way to the last day of the tournament and lift the trophy. This is not to say that the competition is going to be easy. We expect a very tough one because all the teams that will be participating are notable teams that have achieved both continentally and also globally. And even when we don't get to lift the trophy, we want to have a good experience as a country, and we also want to cheer all the other teams that will be coming to participate.
President William Ruto has announced a generous reward to inspire the Kenya national football team Harambee Stars in the African Nations Championship CHAN 2024. The president dangled lucrative cash rewards during a visit to the Harambee Stars residential camp in Kasarani this morning. As you'll hear now from Willie Lusige, each player is set to receive 1 million shillings for every match the team wins and a staggering 600 million shillings for the team if Harambee Stars clinches the title.
Ahead of Kenyan national football team Harambee Stars CHAN 2024 opener match against two-time champions DR Congo, scheduled for Sunday at 3 p.m. at Kasarani Stadium, President William Ruto has ignited fresh energy in the team with a lucrative cash reward. During a surprise visit to the team's residential camp in Kasarani, President Ruto pledged a substantial package designed to fuel Kenya's pursuit of continental glory.
Hello, how are you?
Each player will receive 1 million shillings for every win and 500,000 for every draw in the tournament. Additionally, the team stands to earn 60 million shillings for reaching the quarterfinals, 70 million shillings for making it to the semi-finals, and staggering 600 million shillings if they clinch the title.
For every game you win, every player here gets 1 million shillings. Mburia na watu yangu walikuwa wamepanga, akasema mkimaliza finals pesa yenu itakuwa imefika 200 million, lakini nimebadilisha nikasema mkimaliza finals pesa yenu yote itakuwa 600 million.
In his speech during a meeting with the squad during the ongoing training, he encouraged the players and the technical staff to give their all in the tournament, promising to grant any request they might have on the condition that they bring home the trophy.
Nimesema kila kitu times 3. Ndio sasa kila mtu acheze kama yeye. Do you have a deal, my friend?
He further emphasized that Kenya's bid to host CHAN and the African Cup of Nations AFCON 2027 was part of a deliberate effort to grow the sport locally.
We want to make it double historic. We want it to be not just the first time we are hosting CHAN, to also be the first time that we win as Kenya.
Led by their South African coach, Harambee Stars now have more than just national pride to play for. They are chasing both glory and life-changing rewards in what is their first ever appearance at the African Nations Championship CHAN. With the tournament hosted jointly by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, the pressure and motivation to deliver on the home soil are immense.
Tomorrow until 30th of this month at the finals, our party is Harambee Stars. All of us.
With packed stands and presidential backing, all eyes will be on the team to see if they can rise to the occasion and turn the moment into a defining chapter in Kenyan football. Willie Lusige, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
I have a big screen in front of me and I'm seeing the Tanzania-Burkina Faso game about 64 minutes in. The score is 1-0 in favor of Tanzania. We keep an eye on CHAN, but we also take a look at the other stories making headlines. A senior police officer has sparked debate after publicly urging the Inspector General of Police to scale down the recruitment of women into the National Police Service, citing what he claimed were operational inefficiencies and disciplinary challenges. The remarks made by the officer commanding Station Nyahururu, Isaac Kimutus, during a Jukwaa la Usalama forum in Nanyuki have drawn public ire and have drawn Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen's condemnation. He terms the statement as deeply sexist, retrogressive, and a slap in the face of decades of progress towards gender equality. Mary Moki has that report.
It was a statement out of step with the times from Nyahururu OCS Isaac Kimutus, who urged the police top command to scale down the recruitment of women in the National Police Service.
Unaona wakati ya recruitment iko percentage wanapeana, lakini unakuta kama ingewezekana iandikwe wanaume, so that wakati ya kazi like juzi ya 25 ya Gen Z, kama kwangu Nyahururu niliambia wasichana wote wakae station.
His proposal to reduce the number of women in the National Police Service, touching a raw nerve in the decades-old fight for gender parity. OCS Kimutu saying women officers complicate the chain of command and struggle to cope with the rigors of police work. Many critics say it exposed entrenched misogyny within the force.
Unakuta mwingine anatapikia helmet. So nakuwa kazi mingi. Percentage iwe kidogo, so that at least in a station unakuta wanaume wengi, unakuta abadali huwa wanaume wengi kuliko wasichana.
His views labeled sexist, retrogressive and unconstitutional, like Ipia North Member of Parliament Sarah Korere saying the comments are an insult to every woman who has served, bled or died in uniform.
Somebody stood here akasema ati lady officers wakuwe wachache. In fact, afande, I would request wakuwe wengi. Wakati wa hiyo kipindi ya kutapika afande, because it is natural, ndio wakati ninatapika hiyo kipindi yangu mwingine anani replace, because kuna kazi zingine wanaume hawatafanya.
Na OCS Kimutus, ukitumia warembo vizuri watamkungarishia hiyo Nyahururu mpaka ushangae. Kina mama msikuwe na wasiwasi, stand your place.
Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja has reiterated the National Police Service commitment to fair labor practices, a sentiment echoed by Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen, who observed that Kenya has the constitutional duty to uphold the 2/3 gender rule.
National Police Service is gender sensitive. Tukienda kuajiri tutakuwa na both genders. Hiyo tuko pamoja. We have got a gender office. Si ni kweli? That is how important genders are to us. Kwa hivyo msiwe na wasiwasi na maneno ya gender, mheshimiwa. Hiyo sisi tunaheshimu kabisa na waziri wetu wanajua namna hiyo.
You can't say we cannot hire women. We have a constitutional responsibility to fike 30%. Saizi tuko only 14. Bado tunangangana tufike 30%. Hii reasoning ya huyu OCS ana reason kama mtu ako Mkokoto Forest. Yeah. So ana ubaya, ni ile tu haku communicate vizuri. Haku ana ubaya, alitaka kusema wakati wa kulimana na bunduki na mabandits wacha wamama wetu wasikae kwa that area.
The constitutional two-third gender rule is one that the national government is struggling to meet, with the judiciary previously issuing an advisory to dissolve parliament for failing to meet the principle. Mary Mwoki, Citizen TV.
Now, as Kenya prepares to face the leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo tomorrow at 3 p.m. at Kasarani, and Algeria and Morocco set to face off at 6 p.m. at the Nyayo National Stadium. Thank you for staying with us on Citizen Weekend. Human rights activist Mwabili Mwagodi has recorded a statement at the Diani police station narrating the harrowing ordeal of his abduction on the night of July the 23rd in Tanzania. Mwabili, who fears for his life, claims he was abducted by 4 men who confiscated his documents, blindfolded him and placed him under tight security for 2 days under the watch of 2 Tanzanian police officers. He was later released near the Lungalunga border in Kwale County. Francis Mtalaki has more from Mombasa.
Activist Mwabili Mwagodi arrived at Central Police Station earlier today, accompanied by family and fellow human rights defenders, hoping to officially file a report. Mwabili narrating the harrowing ordeal of his abduction on the night of 23rd of July in Tanzania at around 8:30 p.m.
They wakanifunga macho, they blindfolded me and took me to an unknown location on the 23rd night. They interrogated me the whole night. Alafu, I was kept isolated in a room. Ilikuwa ni nyumba, and I was kept isolated inside a room, nikiwa nimefungwa pingu.
Mwabili claims his abductors were Kenyan operatives seeking to uncover who funds his strong stance against the Kenya Kwanza administration.
And these people were Kenyans, because mimi nimeishi Tanzania muda mrefu. Wa Tanzania najua lafudhi yao na lafudhi za Wakenya nazifahamu.
He says his life is in danger, adding that he received warnings to stop criticizing the government. Human rights organizations have condemned both Kenyan and Tanzanian governments for what they term as a state-sponsored brutality.
Be careful, protect yourselves, tujaribu tufike. Kama ushauri niliopewa na majasusi kutoka nchi jirani, waliniambia kuwa makini ufike mwaka 2027. There is a clear intention to eliminate someone like people like me. It's a horrifying ordeal. Sitaki mtu yote apitie whatever I have gone through, and now here I am seeking justice in my country. Nimenyimwa kuandika OB hapa. I've been denied a chance to write an OB, and now I have to depend on my lawyers for the next step of action.
Sasa hapa inaonyesha wazi kuna connection between Kenya security and Tanzania security. It is something that we always suspect, lakini sasa yaonyesha dhahiri kwamba kuna connection baina hawa wanaharakati ambao wamekwenda Tanzania wakashikwa, wengine wakateswa na kafanywa mambo ya kiajabu ajabu.
They later traveled to Diani police station in Kwale County, where Mwabili finally recorded a formal statement marking the beginning of his long journey for justice following what he describes as a state-backed torture in Tanzania. Meanwhile, the social justice movement has reignited the push for radical political change in the country, decrying increased cases of police brutality, enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings, and the government's failure to uphold the constitution.
Tunajitengenezea program yetu ya vile tutakuwa na siasa za kuangalia na kushughulikia maslahi yetu kama wananchi kutoka hapa grassroots kwenda kule national.
In fulfilling our historic mission, we the young people of Kenya follow the footsteps of Mekatilili Wamenza, Koitalel Arap Samoei, Pio Gamapinto, Dedan Kimathi, and all the freedom fighters in the pursuit of dignity, freedom, and social justice.
Francis Mtalaki, Citizen TV, Mombasa.
Thank you for staying with us on Citizen Weekend. There was a somber mood in Makutano, Emali, Makueni County, as family, friends and youth gathered to bid farewell to Gerson Mutisia, a 31-year-old who was fatally shot by police during the June 25th anniversary Gen Z demonstrations in Emali. A funeral that turned into a rallying call for justice and accountability, with leaders from across the political divide condemning what they termed as state-sponsored onslaught against innocent youth, demanding change. As the family mourned their son, they called for justice for a lost soul. Crispin Otieno brings us that report.
It was a painful farewell to Gerson Mutisia, a 31-year-old man whose life was brutally cut short in the line of peaceful protest in Emali. Carried shoulder high by his peers, the casket symbolized more than grief. It was a stark reminder of a generation in mourning and in resistance. The Kenyan flag wrapped around those carrying his casket flapped in the wind as tears streamed down faces, and solemn tune pierced the silence of Emali. For his family, the pain is unbearable, but the resolve for justice unwavering.
Na muendelee na kuniombea kwa maana huyu mtoto Mungu ameibariki na huyu mtoto na sitamsahau.
Mimi ninataka ni haki itendeke. Kwa watoto ni wameuliwa, ni haki itendeke.
Gen Z protesters who turned out in large numbers stood firm, promising not to let Mutisia's death and that of many others be in vain.
Na wazazi msiwahi sahau, kuna siku mtu alisimama akasema watoto wenu wapigwe risasi. Alafu kuna MPs wakakuja wakasema msipige kwa mguu, piga wa kuua.
Na ningependa kusenda message to Mr. Ruto. There is no dialogue. There is no dialogue because we called you on X and everything that we said was not done.
The emotionally charged burial turned political, with leaders in attendance calling out the government for what they described as a grave injustice against the country's young generation.
This is a serious national issue. When Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga speaks about dialogue, I don't think he understands what dialogue these young people are looking for. It's not dialogue about who is going to be prime minister. The only dialogue that will happen in Kenya is the dialogue where there is justice.
Hawa vijana wote na ni wengi wamekuwa wanauawa na serikali, ni assassination. Kitu kiitwe what it is.
Gerson Mutisia was described as a hard-working young man, a cornerstone to his family, whose loss has left a gap that will be hard to fill. It is a life lost, but a fight reignited among the youth. Crispin Otieno, Citizen TV.
Pro-government leaders have mounted a strong defense of the government-backed fundraisers christened empowerment programs, saying they have always been part of the Kenyan culture. Speaking at different fundraisers on Saturday, the leaders defended the fundraisers, which they say do not adversely affect development. They claim the controversial fundraisers are a complementary strategy to improve the lives of Kenyans. Laura Otieno with that report.
A day after retired Chief Justice David Maraga blasted the now common fundraisers championed by the Kenya Kwanza and allied leaders, the pro-government leaders have come out guns blazing, vowing to continue with the harambees. They say it is part of the bottom-up agenda that propelled President William Ruto to power, the leaders downplaying claims that the fundraisers are substitute for development projects.
Wale beneficiaries wa hii empowerment wanajua maana yake. Ule anapiga kelele huko hajui maana. Na Waswahili walisema asiyejua maana haambiwi maana.
This is one of the best programs that you've had. We've only just changed the name from what used to be Harambee to empowerment. But it was there. It was there as our motto during the KANU era.
Program za serikali zitaendelea. Hustler Fund itaendelea.
Youth empowerment programs will continue. Lakini lazima pia mtu atoe ile yako naye.
Coming under more fire was former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who was accused of fanning ethnic tensions. The leaders urging Kenyans to ignore any polarizing political messages.
And we must not allow anybody to bring divisions among us on the basis of where we come from or what geographical features we see in our neighborhoods. We are richer as a nation, united and focused on development of our people.
Siasa mingi, Your Excellency, ati mtu anataka tukae hapa tufanye siasa ya matusi. Badala ya kusikia this story that you have had here, Your Excellency, we are being kept busy fighting imaginary wars from somebody who has never told his story to Kenyans on how he is going to do to take this country forward.
Yule mkabila mkafiri ambaye ameenda US kuzungumza lugha ya ukabila. Nyinyi wa Kenya mnamwambia namna gani?
Attending a graduation ceremony for 500 graduates from TVET institutions in Laikipia County, the Deputy President reiterated the government's commitment to education as well as offering employment opportunities. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
After a vigorous 5-day M-Pesa Sokoni caravan across Western and Nyanza regions, Safaricom today hosted residents of Kisumu and its environs to an action-packed M-Pesa Sokoni festival at the Jomo Kenyatta Stadium in Kisumu, marking the climax of M-Pesa's 18th anniversary celebrations in the region. Safaricom partnered with Royal Media Services to ensure the success of this customer engagement initiative. The festival will culminate in an electrifying after-party headlined by top Kenyan artists.
The Grand Festival crowned a 5-day tour that saw the M-Pesa Sokoni caravan traverse Kakamega, Vihiga, Busia, Bungoma, Siaya, Homa Bay, Migori and Kisumu. Engaging directly with customers on the ground. Today's event at the Jomo Kenyatta Stadium was specially dedicated to families, providing Kenyans an opportunity to shop for various items, including electronics, at discounted prices.
We have over 100 businesses working with us today, and as you can see, hundreds and hundreds of consumers coming to enjoy what we have today. Today we thank you, we bring you together so you can get deals, you can get bargains as our way of saying thank you, as a way of growing your businesses, as a way of promoting our wonderful county here.
Tumepata kuinteract na customers wengi na tumefaidika sana sisi kama vendors.
The highlight of the day was the M-Pesa or box game, which thrilled participants with exciting prizes, with the ultimate winner walking away with 180,000 shillings. Throughout the tour, Safaricom has actively engaged its loyal customers at the grassroots, celebrating a milestone of over 50 million subscribers.
The energy, the crowds, people have appreciated our wide range of products. We've managed to educate our customers, reassure them of our commitment to continuously deliver products and services that are safe.
We've had various forums, Wezesha Mama, a forum for the youth. We've had our agent awards last night. It's just been amazing, and we really want to say thank you from our bottom of our hearts as Safaricom.
Next week, the caravan shifts to Nairobi for the continuation of the M-Pesa Sokoni celebrations. Steve Shitera, Citizen TV, Jomo Kenyatta International Stadium, Kisumu.
Sports News brought to you by... Back your favorite team as they battle for glory in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship 2024, right here on home soil.
St. Joseph Boys Kitale are the 2025 National Secondary School Games football champions after beating Musingu High School of Kakamega 1-0 in a closely contested final. Popularly known as Jobo, the Saints sealed victory in the second half through a well-taken free kick by Kiboy Shadrach, crushing Musingu's hopes of lifting the coveted trophy for a second consecutive year. In the girls category, Butere girls secured their third consecutive national title, the Western Giants scoring early in the first half thanks to a decisive strike from star forward Matrine Kitavi. However, the final moments of the Butere-Madeira clash turned chaotic when a police officer lobbed tear gas into the crowd, disrupting play and affecting both fans and players. Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya today flagged off the Kenya Under-20 women's volleyball team that is heading to Yaoundé, Cameroon for the 2025 African Championships. The Under-20 Championships, which also serve as the 2026 World Championships qualifiers, will serve off from August the 3rd to the 12th.
So I'm very confident. I have listened to the players. Where they are playing, and I have no doubt that this team is going to do a lot of pride for our country. When you are given the national flag, it means the 55 million Kenyans are represented. So when you are playing, you are not just playing for yourself, you are playing for Kenya.
Kenya Commercial Bank, RFC, recorded a roaring start in day one of the Prince-Lu Sevens in Nakuru, beating Catholic Monks 17-10 in their opening game before recording another huge victory, thumping Port Kisumu RFC 48-0 and a 52-0 win against Nondescript as they sailed to the quarters set for Sunday. At the same time, Kabras Sugar started the campaign on a winning note, beating Impala 24-7 before going down 17-15 at the hands of Mwamba. Kabras rose to the occasion in the last match to beat Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology 25 to also sail through, while defending champions, the Strathmore Leos, opened their title defense on a sound note, demolishing fellow students Daystar University 26-5. In another all-student affair, Strathmore Leos taught Zetech Oaks a rugby lesson, beating the Thika Road-based University 38-0. However, Leo's impressive run was halted when they were fried 17-7. And they were fried by the Menengai Oilers. The Nairobi Hospital today hosted the Children's Charity Heart Fund golf tournament at the Karen Country Club to raise funds and awareness for children living with congenital heart disease. Held under the theme, Giving Little Hearts Big Dreams, the annual tournament is also aimed at driving community action around the urgent need for accessible pediatric heart care in Kenya. The Children's Charity Heart Fund has enabled over 400 children below the age of 12 receive free life-saving heart surgeries. According to the World Health Organization, over 5,000 children in Kenya require heart surgery for congenital defects.
Funds for the Children's Heart Fund. In the Nairobi Hospital, we have the Children's Charity Heart Fund, which raises funds for children who have heart conditions, so that those who are not able to raise funds for this medical kind of attention in the hospital are able to access this attention.
Sports News, brought to you by... Back your favorite team as they battle for glory in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship 2024, right here on home soil.
As always, on Saturday night, we go international with Diaspora Connect. Neville is coming into studio as myself, Olive Burrows, and our sign language interpreter, Belinda Phillips, exit stage left. Good night.